You are listening to the Shopify Solutions Podcast, a podcast for Shopify store owners that brings you concrete examples on how to build and grow your e-commerce brand. Your host is Scott Austin. He owns a Shopify agency called Jade Puma. In this podcast, Scott will share his e-commerce insights and best practices with you.
Hey, Scott Austin here. This episode is going to be a very visual episode of the podcast. So if you're listening to it on audio only, know there's an accompanying video that when you're at a computer, you can sit down and watch the video also, because the visuals are going to be very compelling in this one. This episode is going to be yet another episode in AI, specifically AI-generated images. Now, in the past, I've talked about how you can generate AI images with OpenAI or inside of premium apps like Photoshop. But this episode is going to be focused on some simple AI editing of images that you can do right inside of Shopify. Shopify released these features a few months back, and they're actually really powerful and have changed some of my workflows that I do in building out stores. So I wanted to share with you some of the things that I've seen on how to use these AI tools and how you can get the most out of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into a product here inside the Jade Puma store where I've loaded up some images. I'm going to show you how we can edit. So if you're inside the Shopify admin, you go right into the product listing and you click on any one of the images that you see, and it opens up this screen where you can edit some things about the image, like the name and the alt text. But now they've added some new functionality lower down on the menu over to the right where you can do some editing of the photo using AI tools that are built into the Shopify admin. So the first one is you can actually take out the background of the image and create like a white background or a transparent background if you wanted to. Now the image I have on the screen is just a simple product photo done with a white background, but the original has a little bit of a shadow on it. So now that I've opened up the color background menu, it's automatically selected what it thinks is the object, and then you can just click on the white box to get a full white background, and you see that the shadow effect underneath the image is gone away. So you can remove backgrounds really quickly and easily. Now on more complex objects, the background removal is not perfect, but I'm amazed at how well it works in many, many product photos. I've gotten to the point now where I just upload photos inside of Shopify and then go here to this tool to remove any backgrounds that I want to remove. But you also have this other AI functionality, which is replace background. So I'm going to click on that, and what it wants you to do is describe the product. So I'm just going to say that this is a phone. And then it wants you to describe the background that you want. So I'm just going to say, in a room, in a home with lots of people. And then I'm going to click on the generate button, and you'll see what it'll do is it'll give you 4 options based on your prompt that it thinks matches what you're looking for. And you get to choose from which of the 4 is the best. So here you can see the first one. Now, what it does a lot is when the product is up close and in focus, the background it gives you is very blurred, and it gives you this effect that you can see, which is not bad at all. Otherwise, it'd be really hard to make this look like it's a natural fit inside of that image. But you see it's giving me 4 different options. Now, I did say, in a room with lots of people, in only 2 of these photos is it actually obvious that there's people in that room, but all 3 of them are of a home, or looks to be like a home. It's really fuzzy, so it's hard to tell exactly, but they're not bad effects at all, right? Now, let's actually change that out, and let's say on the top of a tall rock in the forest. I don't know what this is going to give me. So it's just fun to play this sometimes and see what happens. So it's going to take a minute to generate those 4 different options for you. And there you can see, not bad. That's in the palm of my hand instead of on a rock. So sometimes it doesn't listen to you like AI is prone to do on occasion. That's less on top of a rock than that first one. And, so of these, 4, I would say this one comes the closest to what I was saying. But what I was saying was also, just a little bit of a random thing that I threw in there. But, that's one image. So that alone should make you feel like this is a powerful tool, right? It's quick and easy. It doesn't work perfectly all the time, but when it works really well. So let's go to another product here. This one already has no shadow. It already has the white background. But if you just wanted to change the color of the background, right, you could select the color background option, and you could say, well, I want that to be on a light blue background. You see how easy it is to make that happen. But let's say instead you wanted to replace the background. So for this one here, we're going to tell the object is a bottle of nail polish, and we're going to describe the background that we want as in a busy beauty parlor. Let's see what it gives us. It's going to give me my 4 options. All right, that's kind of a beauty parlor effect with nail polish, but those aren't people. Same thing there. I think this is supposed to be spilt nail polish. This was not what I was going for. It's definitely focused on the nail polish part of it. So let's say in a busy beauty parlor full of customers. Let's see if we can get some people in the background. Yeah, it is not giving me people at all in this case. But you can see it gives me this nail polish effect with the backgrounds. Let's try something completely different, and let's go with on the pavement in Times Square with many pedestrians in the background. Generate. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Gives me definitely a dramatic effect, right, that I was looking for there. I like that a lot. It's even got like the yellow taxis here in New York. That's nice. Let's try something a little bit different. And notice with this image here, we're getting lots of good effects because the object was already clearly cropped to a white background. So, they can drop it into different images pretty well. So let's put it on a marble table. That's what that looks like. I want to see if it doesn't blur the table, if we can get it more in focus. It's a top down. I wasn't expecting that. That's fuzzy. Yeah, that's a little bit better. All right, that's really nice now that I look at the details there. See the reflection of the nail polish in the marble table? That's nice. And this last one, that's nice too. So it's just, like I said, it's fun to play with these and see what you can come up with. Let's just try another one in a Valentine's theme. Expecting a lot of red and hearts. We'll see what it gives me. Sometimes I like putting in nondescript things like in a Valentine's theme just to see what it gives you. That's actually nice. It's just hearts in the background kind of thing. Let's try in a Christmas gift setting. It's nice. Ornaments in the background, some wreath, ribbon. Yeah, that's nice. It's really nice. So like I said, this image is already cropped really well, nice sharp defined lines. So it's really easy to have AI generate things that look, compelling. Some of them aren't, perfect. But from this, you could definitely come up with some thematic elements that you want to use. So let's move into a product photo that doesn't have the background removed yet. You can see, it's a good product shot, but there's a lot of gray and shadow in the background. So let's see how it does in removing that. Now, this is a white product, or a very white product on a mostly white background, but you see it actually does a good job in deciding what is the product and what's the background. So I put the white to that. That's really nicely done, right? So now let's do some replace background functions and see what we can come up with. So I'm going to call this an ice cream tub. And let's say the background that we want here is in a sunny park on a hot day. See what that gives me. So this is a sorbet and going for a hot theme, right? We'll see what it gives us here. Oh, that's nice. It's on a wooden bench with a good background. Notice on this one here, the shadow effect even. I like the way that it's figuring out what the object is with the AI and doing things with that. Like we saw the reflection on the nail polish, and here's the shadow on the opposite side of the tub. That's really nicely done. Now that is not a photorealistic image to me because of the fuzziness of it, but it could definitely be used to evoke a theme, like in an email or on a landing page. Let's try something a little bit different here and on top of a volcano. Maybe our little tagline would be our sorbet is even refreshing on top of a volcano. So we'll see what it gives us here. Not bad. I'd want to see more lava. I don't see any lava here yet. These are inactive volcanoes. So on top of, let's try an active volcano and see how it interprets that differently. Now these are acai berries, so I'm going to do a jungle theme here in a second. All right, the active volcano really doesn't get me anything different. All right, let's try active volcano with lava. See what that does. Oh, that's a little bit better. We got some lava now. Not perfect, but definitely an improvement. So, I can see where we could iterate on that and play with it a little bit and see what we can come up with. So let's go to another product photo. This one is of a portable bar. And let's see if we can remove the background. You see it's got this gray shadow effect around it. So let's see if we can remove that background. Now I can see here it's going to remove this area over here, right? I don't know why it's doing that, but it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down to this button here and hit Choose Subject. So when it automatically doesn't pick the right background, you can affect that a little bit. And that's what we're going to do here. So we hit Choose Subject. And we've got the plus symbol already set up. So we're just going to click. And every time I click, it's going to take a second as the AI does its thing. You see the hourglass cursor, right? So I'm just going to put little dots in to where I think, it should be considering this part of the product and not the background. I'm going to put a lot of them in here. Actually, I don't want to sit here and do it all. Let's try just a couple more and see what it gives us. And then maybe we need to put more in after. So let's try that and apply. So now if I put a white background to that, you can see that's not great at all. Now where I had a lot of dots up here in the umbrella, it got that pretty clearly. So I think I need to do more dots, so, a lot more dots. So let's try that again. You can see as I'm putting in the dots, you can see the algorithm updating. It's kind of hard to tell here, but you'll notice after I put a dot in, sometimes these little pixelations you see will update, and you'll see the AI saying, all right, I'm going to update my model here and incorporate more elements. I'm going to do the stool tops, especially on this product. It's off by itself, separated from the rest of the products. Now I'm just looking at the areas that are white on the product where it's, bleeding through to the background and see if we can update those a little bit. Get that to be a little more accurate. Now, in the end, sometimes it is not perfect at this or not even good or acceptable at removing the background. In that case, you can always go back to, the human method of doing it inside of Photoshop or whatever photo editing software you use. But you can, inside of this Shopify admin tool, play with it a little bit and make the AI, logic or what it's thinking about change a little bit. This one here is probably not worth the effort that I'm going through and the time it's taking to do this. I'm just trying to demonstrate what you can do here. All right, we've done enough of that. Let's apply it. No, see, that's just not going to work out. That's not too bad. Yeah, I still don't like that. So that one we're just going to call it ain't going to work. So let's go on to the next product, which is these candy bars. Now they've got, like a gray background here, a little bit of a shadow effect. So let's see what we can do on the color background. And let's turn that into a white background. Nicely done, and the shadow effect is gone. So now we're going to replace the background, and we're going to tell it that it is 2 candy bars. I don't know what telling it, why I'm typing in the subject. I wonder if that affects the AI and the image it generates, and for the background or at all. We'll actually test that here in a second. Now that I think about it, so now let's describe the background we want it on. Let's say on a rough piece of slate. Generate. So my first image here, that's a rough piece of slate. Notice the shadow effects it's putting in. Really nicely done. That's really nice. Super happy with that. Second one, the slate isn't as rough, but it's still a piece of slate. That's nice. This one has more of a shadow in it. Also nice. Yeah, those are all really nicely done. So the next thing I want to test is with the slate background that I like, let's try describing the subject differently and see if that makes a difference. So let's call these 2 gold bars instead of 2 candy bars and generate and see if it makes any difference. Now I can see one of the images that it's generating is a little bit different. It's got a little gold nugget thing next to it. So it does affect, not a lot. The other 3 images are very similar to the first set. So let's actually change the subject again to goldfish and see what that does. That makes no difference. Every time it gives me a little different of a slate. So the subject does make a difference, what you described there, but not that much of a difference. But I do think being accurate is going to help you render an image that's more satisfying. So we'll change our subject back to an accurate one of 2 candy bars. And now we're going to describe the background we want as in a picnic basket. My first image is more like a linen background. The second one is another linen type background. The third one is linen maybe draped over a basket. And the last one is a picnic basket, but it's far away and really blurry. So none of those are really that good. We're going to try it again in a different way. So we're going to say top-down view in a picnic basket with other picnic items. This first one, picnic basket in the distance, is not in the picnic basket. The first one is on a table, not a bad image, but no picnic basket. Picnic basket again in the third one, still it's not in the basket. Yeah, it's having a hard time putting this in a picnic basket. Somebody's photos are nice, but they're not what I'm describing. But nonetheless, pretty appealing. So let's move on to another product photo. This one is of 3 chocolate pyramids. And let's see what it does for the color background. Now you see it picked the first 2 of the chocolate pyramids because they're more in the screen and in focus. And the third pyramid is, not all the way on the screen. It's overlapping on the edge of the image, and it's not as in focus. So we're going to use the choose subject functionality to see if we can get it to incorporate all 3 of our pyramids. Now on the second pyramid, there's like a highlight on one of the sides of the chocolate pyramid. It's very white, matching the background. And I noticed before that it had cropped that out. So we're going to try to include that in by, definitely telling it, hey, that's part of the pyramid. All right, we defined enough points here. Let's apply it and see what it looks like. Oh, that's nice. Let's put a white background on it. Oh, yeah, even the second one with the really bright side is now incorporated in. Now let's see what we can do on the backgrounds of this. Let's put it on a marble table with other items. All right, we got 4 images. Oh, that's nice. A little hard here on the edges of the chocolate where it's got the white because the contrast with the marble table, this is a darker gray marble on a couple of these, especially the fuzzy third object where, there's a lot of bleed between the object and the background. Let's see what happens on the other ones. Same thing there. Yeah, that third one is really making it difficult, although there's nice shadow effects on that. That's really nice. Let's try it here on a white marble table. So we'll get that white table to match the background outline of the chocolate pyramid and see if that helps that contrast issue we're having. Okay, it didn't lighten my tables up much, but it did lighten them a little bit. Yeah, that one's better on that third object, definitely. Yeah, I messed up the marble there a little bit. So that's okay. Not perfect. I probably would not use those. But this is also a difficult one because we've got 3 chocolate pyramids in 3 different placements in 3 different depths of field and focus. That's a hard one, right? So let's see if we can do more of a fuzzy background one and see what happens. Let's just say on a Christmas theme. Okay, that looks good, except for that white contrast issue on that third pyramid. That's okay. Yeah, it's trying. It's trying. I think that it's a tough object because it's 3 different depths of field and 3 different focuses on the 3 different pyramids. Building trust in your store is essential. But let's be honest. Most trust badge apps make your store look worse, not better. Their badges clash with your brand and give your store a Frankenstein-like feel. That's why we built Badgezilla, the Shopify app that delivers trust badges that seamlessly match your brand. Originally crafted for our private clients, Badgezilla was so successful, we turned it into an app for every Shopify store. With Badgezilla, you'll access hundreds of badges, all customizable to your brand guidelines, making them a natural part of your customer experience. Place badges on product pages, collection pages, the home page, and more. Take it a step further with conditional logic. Show a Made in Canada badge only on products made in Canada, or tailor badges to highlight your unique selling points. And the best part? Badgezilla comes with a robust, always free plan, so you can start building trust risk-free. Transform trust into conversions with Badgezilla. So let's move on to another product. This one is a tote bag without a white background. It's shot outdoors by the ocean. So let's see what we can do to remove the ocean background. Now you'll notice this one's taken longer to analyze because it's more complex, but now it's done. And I can see it's got the tote bag really well done. But the tote bag was also sitting on top of a post at the bottom. And it's included the post in the product. So let's go and try and choose our subject and see if we can remove that post. Now, before we've been talking about the pluses, but we also have the minus function, right? So we're going to click the minus button and we're going to click areas of subject to exclude. So we're just going to click that post 3 times and see what that gives us. So we're going to click the minus button and select the post. And then we're going to click the plus button and select the tote bag a few times and see what we can get here. Oh, that looks pretty good. Let's put a white background on it. See, up here, it's got a little too much white going on. And it's still got a little bit of the post. That was looking pretty good, but not perfect. And I think that post is going to be the thing that makes it difficult. It picked the object with the post perfectly the first time. But as we try to say, pick the tote bag, but not the post, that's going to make it a little bit harder. So let's try that again. All right, this one looks good. Let's see what happens when we throw the white background on it. Yeah, see, it still hasn't got rid of the full post. I think we could play with that a little bit more and put in some more minus buttons. But let's just move on for that for now. And let's try to put a background on it. And let's just call this a tote bag. And let's say that we want it in a sunny beach setting. And now that I'm doing that, it actually does a good job in removing the post, even though it shows it in that a white image. Now we do have sandy background, which kind of matches the post color, but I'm not seeing any bit of that post in there. So this is actually working out nicely. Let's see if we can put it in a different environment, in a farmer's market. Nah, this just gives me a background of wood, paper, and different backgrounds. That's no good. We'll try something different here. Let's try in front of an elephant. No elephants. It's just giving me backgrounds for whatever reason. Nice shadow effect on a couple of them. The post is totally removed. So it's doing good on the removing the post and cropping the image. It's not doing good on crazy backgrounds. So let's just try one on a tabletop in a retail store. Now it looks pretty nice. Now, It's got the blurred background effect going on. Oh, that one's got more of the table in focus with it. Some good shadow effects going on there. So one of those four is really nice. The other three aren't bad. So that's pretty well done for this one, where the product was sitting on top of that post and having to crop it out. So I like what we got going on here. Now we're going to switch from product photos into some lifestyle photos and see what we can do there. The first image is of a acai bowl with a wooden spoon and on a table. So let's see what we can do about removing the background. Now the wooden bowl and the wooden spoon have some shadow effects, and when we crop out the background from the AI tool, there's some like scalloping effects around the edges, which doesn't look good. But let's see what happens when we try to put a background, and let's just put it in a kitchen, which is one of the pre-selected backgrounds they have, and see what it does. Because I'm thinking some of the background colors might, blend in with the scalloping, and you might not notice it as much, but we'll see what happens here. Yeah, the scalloping effect still shows up there. In the spoon, it's pretty bad. The bowl, you might not notice. That one's got a little darker, so you don't notice as much, but it's still there. That one you almost don't notice. It's even darker. In this one here, I think if we got rid of the spoon and just kept the acai bowl, it would be better for us. So let's see if we can just have it show the bowl and have it not show the spoon and see what that gives us. Yeah, this isn't working that well. I'm going to give up on this product because it's having a hard time with that wood edge and the shadow effects. So we're going to move on to a lifestyle photo of a human. And let's see what we can do here. Let's just see if we can remove the background first. Now we've got a white product, or white outfit that she's wearing on kind of a white or grayish, concrete background, and it did a really good job in removing the background on that one. Really good job. And around the hair even is really nicely done. Now let's see what happens when we change the background out. So let's say this is a woman as the subject, and we want the background to be in a desert hotel by the pool in Palm Springs. Oh, these are looking really nice. The first one here is she's by a pool. It's a fuzzy background one at a hotel. The next one is definitely a Palm Spring. You got the palm trees and the mountains in the background. That's really nicely done. Third one, same thing. Palm trees, mountain background, and a pool. And the last one, same thing. Palm trees, pool, mountain background. That's really nice. So let's try another one in a ski resort in Whistler Mountain. All right, we've got definitely a mountain and a ski background. No resort. Yeah, it looks like all of them are more about the mountain and the ski hill than it is the resort. Let's just say in a ski resort by the jacuzzi at Whistler. This one here is definitely by a jacuzzi, although there's ice and snow on the water. And a couple of them are in more of a pool and water setting with the snow in the background. So not bad. Not great, but not bad. Now let's just try something a little bit crazy and say at a daycare with lots of crying children. All right, all four images have children. They're all blurred in the background. This first one, I can't see that any are crying. The second one, once again, I can't see that any are crying. The third one, there's a little depth of field issue with this girl over on the left, but I can't see anybody's crying. Last one, so all of them have children. None of them can I tell that they're crying, but it changed out the look and feel of that image quite a bit there. So let's move on to our next lifestyle image, and that will be these two women, a mother and daughter pair. And let's remove the background. That looks nice. You can see it got the little thread on the sweater down here. It's actually doing well with the hair. So let's try a background. We're going to describe the subject as two women. And we're going to describe the background as at a circus with clowns in the background. So a very blurry one on the first, but if you squint, you can kind of tell it's a circus with clowns. Second one feels more circusy, but it's even more blurred. Third one is just colors. Fourth one, kind of circusy, no clown. So that was a tough one for it. Let's try another background of On the Streets of Paris. First image, on the streets. That's nice. That is nice. Like 3-story, tan buildings like you'd see in Paris. Second one is nice, a little closer in. Yeah, these are pretty good. They're all have the blurred background effect, but they're pretty good. Let's try On the Streets of Tokyo. All right, this is not bad. The buildings are taller than the Paris one, which is what you would expect. More glass looking. Really can't see that it's Tokyo, but that's nicely done, the way it changed out the background based on the city being different. And let's try one more, in a jungle. All right, we got definitely green jungle effect, the blurred background going on. Not too bad. Now, with this one, the women have highlights from the light around, their outline. And it makes it hard to blend into a background, but not perfect, but not bad. Let's move on to another mother-daughter pair. And let's see what we can do about removing the background. Now you can see in this one, their hair is windblown. And that makes it really hard to define the outline. So let's see what happens if we try to make that a transparent background, go to a white one. You see how hard that is because of the hair, right? So we wouldn't be able to do a solid color background on this one unless we could, that's not too bad. We have to match the color of the background to the color of their hair a little bit better if we want to make that work. But let's see if we can replace the background and get something to work. So let's start off with at a sunny beach. All right, let's see what happens with that hair. Yeah, that's just awful because of the hair. Not surprising. Same there. We'd have to get something with a background that is in a similar color to what's going on with the strands of hair from that windblown effect. And that would be very difficult to do. This is the kind of one you'd want a different image. This one's not going to be workable. So let's try this one of a man fishing. Let's see what we can do to remove the background. See, we've kind of lost his feet because they blended into the rocks that he was standing on quite a bit. But let's see if we can put him in a replaced background. Let's put him on top of a mountain looking at a sunset. All right, looks like we got some interesting ones here. Oh, that's nice. That is really nice. Now notice, remember, it kind of took his shoes away. It has given him shoes back, and they're different shoes than what he was wearing before. The ones in the original photo were dark black. You couldn't actually see any detail in the shoes. You just saw the silhouette. Now he's got these tan sneakers on in this first image, and he's on top of a hill. Now he's above all the clouds, so you can't actually see it's like the very tip of a mountain. But the next one, totally on top of a mountain. Once again, they've added shoes in, totally looking at a sunset. Yeah, these are nice. These are really nice. I'm super impressed by that. All right, let's try something completely crazy that is definitely not going to work, and that is staring down a pack of lions. I just want to see what it's going to give us. All right, it actually did better than I thought it was going to. We actually have him standing in the middle of a pack of lions. I didn't think there would be lions in this from the things we were playing with before, and it wasn't listening to like clowns and crying children, but it is definitely in the savannah with a pack of lions. Second one, that's one's even better. Not photo quality, but not bad. The next one, Well, because he's fishing, I guess, because they're in the middle. The lions are in the middle of the water in the lake, which doesn't look right. But it's also taking the context that this is a man fishing, and he's got a fishing pole. So that's probably why they're putting the lions in the lake. Now, this one, the lions are in the water, and the last one, they were above the water. This one, they're in the water, and there's more in the back. It's really trying hard to do this really well. I'm super impressed with it. I thought this wasn't going to work at all. This one came out, you definitely wouldn't use this in anything in your store, but it's doing a really good job in trying to listen to what we're saying and giving us the results that we're asking for. Super impressed. All right, we have one more image left, and that is of two people in a boat, and they're cruising across the lake at speed. So let's see what happens when we try to get rid of the background. Not bad. It got rid of the white wake on the side of the boat and all, but that's pretty good. Now let's see what happens if we try to drop this into a scene. So we're going to make the new background be in the ocean with Miami in the background. All right, we've got, these are nice. Now, I did ask for a Miami skyline in the background instead of just Miami in the background. And you can definitely see, the glass towers of Miami. The water is a turquoise, blue-green. It's tried to put a wake back in on the boat because it is moving along. Second image, similar. Third image, similar. This one looks better. There's a little problem with the outline of the object and that kind of stuff to be expected here. That's not bad. Now let's change it to in the ocean with California beaches and mountains in the background. All right. Oh, that looks nice. We definitely have, California-looking mountains. They're very dry, not a lot of trees on them. Yeah, those are pretty good. Once again, not perfect photo quality, but definitely not bad. And of course, with AI, these things are going to get better by the month. It'll just get, more and more accurate as things move along. So let's try something a little different, and let's just say in a frozen lake on the moons of Jupiter. All right, it's really hard to tell on this first one. It tried to do what we asked it to do, but it doesn't feel like spacey at all. The next one, definitely not, because there's land in the background. That one's a little bit better. You can see other moons in the skyline. Yeah, so it's trying. Let's try one last one, and that is across a bed of lava. Oh, this looks pretty good. You definitely got this field of lava thing going on. It's not as good as the water ones, but wouldn't expect it to be. So it's really trying. Now, these crazy scenarios might be the kind of fun things that you would do for your brand, right? So you may be doing a blog post or a advertising campaign or a landing page for an event or a holiday, and you want to take your product and incorporate it into a scene for whatever reason, right? So you could use this tool to take one of your product photos or lifestyle photo with your product, remove the background, and instead put a different background in that matches to what we're talking about for that landing page, that ad campaign, or whatever theme you're going for. Overall, I'm super impressed with this tool. I had not played with it as much as I have today before, but I have been using it for months, quite often, because it has been so useful and such a time saver for me without having to open up Photoshop and edit things that way. To just have AI go in and do the quick little edits that I want, especially for background removals, has been absolutely a game changer for me on background removals. But now that I look at it in taking these more lifestyle photos and putting backgrounds in them where we can do some creative things, I think I'm going to try that some more with my clients and see what happens. Overall, I think every store should look into this tool, understand how it works, and get comfortable in using it. Because remember, as I said before, this is AI and it is progressing, almost daily, if not every month or two, it's improving. So the quality of images that we see are only going to get better and better over time. And this is nice because it's a free tool that's built right into Shopify. So you can go into your product photos or you can go into your content section and edit your photos from within there also. So you just take all your existing photos and edit them as you want inside of the admin and reuse them for the new purposes that you want to use them. So hopefully this has given you some insight into what you can do with the AI tools in the Shopify admin. I hope you use them, and I hope your photos start looking better. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to the Shopify Solutions Podcast with Scott Austin. This podcast is brought to you by Jade Puma, a Shopify-focused agency located in San Diego, California. If you like what you heard, please leave a review and subscribe on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. If you'd like to work with Scott on your brand, email him at scott@jadepuma.com.